The rain had been falling since dawn, the kind that soaked through shoes and patience alike. Mark Alvarez pulled his jacket tighter as he hurried along the sidewalk, one hand gripping his lunch pail, the other checking his phone for the time. He was already late for his second shift, and late meant less grace from his manager. Less grace meant fewer hours next week. Fewer hours meant another quiet dinner where he pretended everything was fine for his daughter. That was when he saw her. She was crouched near the curb, one arm wrapped around a trembling dog, the other pressed awkwardly against her side. Her hair clung to her face, darkened by rain, and her coat was torn near the sleeve. The dog let out a soft whine that cut through the sound of traffic. Mark slowed, then stopped. He told himself he could not afford delays. He told himself someone else would help. But when the woman looked up, her eyes wide with pain and something close to fear, his feet refused to move again. "Are you hurt?" he asked, already stepping closer. She nodded, trying to smile and failing. "I slipped." He pulled when a car honked. "I think I twisted something." Mark knelt beside her without thinking. The dog growled low, then relaxed when Mark held out his hand slowly. "Hey, buddy. It's okay." The woman watched him, surprised. "Most people just walk past." Mark shrugged. "Most people aren't late twice in one day yet." He helped her sit more comfortably and offered his phone. She hesitated before taking it. "No signal," she said quietly. "I don't know anyone nearby anyway." Mark glanced at her ankle, already swelling. His mind raced through bus routes, costs, and the clock ticking in his pocket. He sighed and stood. "I can take you to urgent care. It's a few blocks." She looked up again, disbelief softening into relief. "You do that?" "I would hope someone would do the same for me," he said. At the clinic, Mark filled out paperwork while she answered questions between clenched breaths. The dog stayed pressed against her leg, eyes never leaving her face. When the nurse finally took her back, Mark sank into a chair, rubbing his temples. He texted his manager a brief apology and turned off his phone. They set her ankle and cleaned a cut along her ribs. When she returned, she was wrapped in a blanket, her movements careful. "Thank you," she said. "I'm Elena." "Mark," he replied. "And that must be the boss." She smiled faintly at the dog. "This is Theo. He's my anchor." They talked while waiting for discharge papers. She asked about his work. He told her about the warehouse, the night shifts, and his 8-year-old daughter Lily who loved drawing castles and refused to eat vegetables. Elena listened closely, as if every detail mattered. "You didn't have to help me," she said. "I know what it costs to stop." Mark looked down at his hands. "Kindness doesn't stop costing just because you're broke." She laughed softly, then winced. "You're a rare man, Mark." He drove her home in his old sedan, apologizing for the rattle in the door. She gave directions to a quiet street lined with trees and iron gates. When he pulled up, he stared at the house, all glass and stone and light. "This is you?" he asked. Elena nodded. "I suppose this is where things get awkward." She invited him inside while Theo limped after them. The living room looked like something from a magazine, yet oddly untouched. No family photos. No clutter. Just space. Elena sat carefully and exhaled. "I should tell you something before you leave." Mark stood near the door, uneasy. "You don't owe me anything." "I'm not trying to repay you," she said gently. "But honesty matters. I own a company. Several, actually. Technology, logistics, healthcare. The numbers attached to my name tend to make people act differently." Mark blinked. "You're saying you're rich?" She smiled without humor. "Billionaire, if you want the full weight of it." Silence settled between them. Mark finally nodded. "Okay. That's it?" she asked, surprised. He shrugged. Doesn't change the fact you were hurt in the rain. Or that your dog needed help. Something in her expression shifted. Relief, perhaps. Or gratitude without strings. They kept in touch after that day. At first it was a thank you message. Then updates on her ankle. Then questions about Lily's drawings. Elena never offered money. Mark never asked. They met for coffee, then dinner. She listened. He laughed more than he had in years. When Lily met Elena, she was shy at first, then curious. Elena knelt to her level and asked about castles. Lily decided she liked her instantly. Months later, Elena visited the warehouse where Mark worked. She asked questions. She noticed things. A few weeks after that, the company announced new safety upgrades and better wages. Mark read the memo twice before understanding. He found Elena that evening, standing in his kitchen, helping Lily with homework. "You did this?" he asked. Elena met his eyes. "I didn't do it because of you. I did it because it was right. You just reminded me to look." Mark felt something warm and steady settle in his chest. Not rescue. Not charity. Just partnership. On the anniversary of the rainy day, they walked together with Theo along the same sidewalk. The rain came again, gentle this time. "Funny how one moment changes everything," Mark said. Elena squeezed his hand. "Only if you stop long enough to notice." And this time, no one walked past.